A vigil is underway for a temporary agency worker who was killed on the job last week just down the street at Upper Crust Bakery. I'm Tina Yazdani at the corner of Keele and York Boulevard. This vigil is just getting underway with speeches. People have flowers, they have signs, and labor advocates here are trying to make the point that the province is rolling back on labor reforms they say were helping temporary agency workers. The ones we spoke with today say they often find themselves in dangerous situations and have no one to help them. Yellow tape surrounds a loading dock at Upper Crust Bakery, where a worker was pinned by a tractor trailer last Thursday. The man, who was reportedly in his 40s, was pronounced dead at the scene. Today, other temp agency workers are standing in solidarity with the victim.
It's so saddening because it's something that's preventable, right? When we go to these factories and these companies, we're working so hard to try and get permanent jobs and we don't get hired, and how we're treated and the fact that people are literally dying is so upsetting.
Navi Ajla knows firsthand what it's like working temporarily at factories and warehouses across the city. She did it to make ends meet while she was still in school. Did you ever feel uncomfortable using some of the equipment you were told to use?
Definitely. Sometimes you go home and your back is hurting, you're broken. It's very, very hard work, and you're not allowed to do it safely. And the thing is, it's that pressure of also, if you don't work fast enough, you're not going to get called back either. So you can't even worry about safety at the end of the day either.
Fiera Foods has already paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines for violating workplace rules. But this latest tragedy has sparked a new concern. The provincial government has tabled legislation that would dramatically reduce penalties for an offence.
It's just going to basically send a message saying, it doesn't really matter if you break the law, the penalties won't be that much. And so I just find that absolutely shocking.
Bill 47 would also repeal equal pay for equal work protections for temp workers, another huge issue labor advocates say contribute to these types of tragedies.
One of the most frequent things that we've been seeing is temp agency workers not just being hired for short-term assignments, but being hired for years in the same job, doing the same work as permanently hired workers, and being paid at differential rates of pay, not getting benefits, and if they speak out, then they're gone.
Labour Minister Laurie Scott didn't comment on the investigation today, but she did answer questions on whether or not the government's new legislation will hold employers accountable for their actions.
It's health and safety issues, and the investigation is going with the Ministry of Labour. That is constantly ongoing. We're not changing any of the investigation routines on a health and safety aspect from the Ministry of Labour.
The government really needs to step up, get their inspectors in there, find out what's happening, and make sure this never happens again.
We did reach out to Fiera Food and Upper Crust Bakery, but neither one returned our request for a comment before airtime. Now, this group is planning on marching down the street to Upper Crust Bakery any moment. They want to make sure their voices and their messages are heard.